Home during a pandemic has taken on new significance. It's a place for shelter, for safety, for learning, and for comfort. And as the coronavirus pandemic drags on, and more tenants fall behind on rent, all that home offers is increasingly at risk of being lost. The eviction crisis looming over the entire country is particularly acute here in Houston, where a moratorium on evictions ended May 19th, months earlier than many major cities.
Constable! Hello!
It's Deputy Benny Gant's job to execute evictions.
Okay, guys.
He's been a constable in Harris County for 30 years.
There's not a lot in there. It looks like they got most of their things and left. Okay. They were given notice yesterday morning about 7:45 or so.
Deputy Gant is carrying out 2 evictions at Somerset Apartments in Northwest Houston.
So it's anywhere from about 15 to 20 of them right now that are currently pending.
So it's been 2 months and you haven't got your evictions?
Haven't got my court date. We always try to work out deals with people and arrangements, and they're pretty good about either paying or moving out, not really having to get to this point. So being the fact that we're already behind because of COVID, and then to have the courts open up like two and a half months ago, and now we're filing, these people are behind like 6 months of rent.
According to data from Eviction Lab, Houston has seen the second highest number of eviction filings of the 17 major cities they track, with 8,635 filings since March 15th.
On Friday of last week, I had a lady stop me right out front here of this building, and she was about 35 years old. She had a child that was, maybe a year and a half old, possibly 2 years, and she had about a 12-year-old boy in the car, and all of her possessions were piled up inside of her car. And she told me, "Can you help me? I've got no place to go." Well, I called 2 of the social service agencies, the Salvation Army and Star Hope Mission, both places that give people shelter. They were both full.
So we're at Rockport Apartments in Southwest Houston. They're apartments that have had habitability issues before. And since the middle of March, since the beginning of the crisis, they have filed 28 evictions against renters.
Zoe Middleton is the Southeast Texas co-director for Texas Housers, a low-income housing information service.
The long-term solution is the feds appropriating and sending more money to municipalities and states so that they can disperse to their residents for rental assistance and to help absolve their debt. And the shorter-term solution is a grace period ordinance so that people can remain housed during a pandemic when houselessness is more likely to increase the number of cases and transmissions.
But property owners disagree that a grace period is the right solution.
At the end of the day, it has the same effects as an eviction moratorium, really, of kicking the can down the road and postponing a problem that's continuing to grow.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner refused to put a grace period ordinance before a city council vote at the end of July. But on August 5th, he and the city council passed an additional $20 million in rent relief that is to be distributed among property owners that enroll. Leonard Noble is among those who was saved by this aid, just a day before a judge was due to rule on his eviction. In February, he left his job as a security guard after getting hired as a TSA agent. Then, everything fell apart.
I was to, go to Atlanta for a 2-week training and then come back here. Well, the pandemic happened. That never took place because the airport shut down. Everything just happened.
He's tried to find other work, but everywhere he went, he was told no one was hiring. He's also struggled to get unemployment benefits.
All these systems, it's like a joke. Unemployment, you can never call and talk to no one.
The city's rent relief program will cover his back rent from June, July, and August. But it's still uncertain what he's going to do in the months to come.
My pandemic is not the pandemic, because I'm not dead. My pandemic is to me, who's going to look after me if you throw me to the street and I get sick?
When I look out this window and I see renters and people who have worked hard their entire lives to pay their bills, pay their taxes, and provide a good living for them and their families. It's really hard to see them get blindsided by this pandemic.
In general, we need to move away from thinking of housing as a commodity and as a speculative financial instrument, and really adopt a cultural shift that lets us think of a home as a place for belonging, a home as a place for health, a home as a place where our cultures are built. And if you think of a house as being any one of those things, decision making will be much, much different, and I think we would already have renters stabilized.